There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. Thank you. May you be seated. Ruling on MEC Honorable PK Mweketsi, point of order. On the 19 May 2026, during a formal motion snap debate about the need for a shift towards insourcing services across all spheres of government to prevent further job losses and end the systematic exploitation of workers and considerations of committee reports. The MEC Honorable PK Mweketsi raised a point of order stating that Honorable MC Sidibe is misleading the House in that she said the ANC is neutral in labor exploitation or insourcing. She said, I quote, open quote, the ANC has never been neutral on the question of labor exploitation, close quote. Such utterance is misleading. Ruling, I have reviewed the Hansard transcript for the sitting in question, and I found that MEC PK Mweketsi did not say that, open quote, the ANC is neutral on the matters of labor exploitation, close quote. Instead, what I found from the Hansard transcript is that MEC PK Mweketsi said, open quote, the ANC has never been neutral on the question of labor exploitation, close quote. In light of the above, MEC PK Mweketsi's point of order is sustained. I will request Honorable Sidibe to withdraw the misleading statement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, the MEC indeed said the ANC has never been neutral on the matter, but has a position which is no to insourcing. I therefore withdraw the neutrality part. Thank you.
Statements by members. Just a reminder to honorable members that in terms of our rules, the time allocation for member statements is as follows. Each statement is 1.5 minutes. MEC's response to a statement is 2 minutes, and a maximum of 7 statements are allowed under this rule. Are there any member statements? Honorable Khoza.
Angibonge Somlomo. Ngiphakamela egameni lenhlangano lebusako i-African National Congress kuthula statimende kuvakalisa ukukhathateka ngekucubuka kweligciwane lelingumashaya bhuce i-Ebola eveni lase-DRC. Somlomo, imibiko betindzaba yakamuva ithi i-Ebola seyendlule netimpilo tebantu labandlula ku-135 kanti kubikwa kutsi labangu-510 labanetimpawu taleli gciwane. Timpawu te-Ebola tifaka ekhatsi letilandzelako: kudiva ukhatsele, umkhuhlane lohambisana nekushisa kwemtimba, buhlungu bemtimba, kuphathwa inhloko kanye nemphimbo lobuhlungu. Somlomo, kusabalala kwe-Ebola kungaba lula lapha eSouth Africa ngetizatfu tekwakhelana nemave ledvute ne-DRC. Ngako-ke i-African National Congress inxusa umtimba lolawula kungena nekuphuma kwebantu emingceleni yetfu nakuthi tikhumulo tetindiza kutsi baciniseke kutsi bantu labangenako bayahlolisiswa litsimba letemphilo. Inhlangano yetemphilo i-World Health Organization nayo ivakalise ukukhatsateka kakhulu ngekucubuka kwaleli gciwane eCongo nase-Uganda. Ngiyabonga somlomo.
Honorable MEC Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. We note the statement by Honorable Member Khoza. Indeed, we are monitoring the Ebola at that side of the region, and as a country, our surveillance are ready for that, and our response team also are on alert in terms of making sure that if it happens that in the country, we are able to manage it. So we note the statement. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nkonyane.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to render a statement on behalf of the African National Congress. Honorable Speaker, in case our communities missed it, the Provincial Department of Education has announced the opening date of application for 2027 academic year. As the ANC, we would like to advise parents to apply on time and work closely with the schools to ensure smooth running and successful admission. Honorable Speaker, schools are expected to ensure that all the admission processes are fair and transparent, manner guided by the best interest of the child. Some of the documents required when applying are affidavit, birth certificates, identity documents, and proof of residence. We therefore urge the school governing bodies and principals to implement admission policies that promote quality, inclusion, and effective use of resources and access to quality education for all the learners within the communities. I thank you.
Honorable MEC Masini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate and welcome the statement from Honorable Nkonyane. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, as a department, we have opened the process of registration for admission for all the learners for the year 2027. Indeed, you all remember that by the beginning of the year this year, we have found ourselves with the learners that were not placed, which were plus minus 9,000, which we would want to make sure that that doesn't happen, because it is our firm view as a department that on the first day of the school reopening, all learners must be in class, all teachers must be in class. So therefore, we are going to request all members to participate in this process, to mobilize communities, members of the communities, parents, to ensure that they utilize this process where they are registering their kids, including those that are in those schools, just to confirm that they will be coming back to the schools, because we want to make sure that by the first day of the opening of the schools, all learners are in class. Thank you very much.
Honorable Nxumayo.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise on behalf of Umkhonto weSizwe to raise a matter of grave concern regarding the ongoing failure of service delivery in Mashishing, Ward 2, Extension 8, under the Tabacheu local municipality. Honorable Speaker, the people of Mashishing have been failed twice in 1 year by the very municipality meant to serve them. First, in 2024, a contractor was appointed to install a sewer reticulation project in Mashishing. That project remains incomplete. Trenches were open, pipes were laid in places, and the contractor left the site. To date, the system does not work. Secondly, 2024, a contractor was appointed for water reticulation project in the same ward. The municipality now claims that this project was completed and handed over. Yet, Honorable Speaker, the taps in Mashishing remains dry. When residents ask the municipality, they are told that they're blaming it on the community illegal connection. Honorable Speaker, if the project is completed, why there's no water? Why it is, if not, why was it accepted and handed over by the project leader? I thank you.
Honorable Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Nxumalo, for the statement. As you have raised that the department is saying something and also the communities, I believe that
the Honorable MEC will look at that in terms of what you are raising, so that indeed our people need to have water all the time. So the matter will be attended to. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mkabela.
Honorable Speaker, the EFF notes with deep concern the latest unemployment figures showing that unemployment in Mpumalanga has risen to 36.3%, with more than 53,000 jobs lost in the first quarter of 2026. These statistics are not just numbers, they represent thousands of families pushed deeper into poverty, young graduates sitting at home without hope, and workers who can no longer provide for their children. The expanded unemployment rate, which includes discouraged work seekers, is now close to 50%. Our people have now lost confidence in the government that continues to make promises while failing to build an economy that creates sustainable jobs. For years, the ANC government has presided over economic collapse, deindustrialization, corruption, and the neglect of rural and working class communities. Mpumalanga remains rich in natural resources and agricultural potential, yet its people continue to suffer from hunger. Unemployment and inequality, all this is caused by the useless, arrogant, clueless, and careless ANC, which rejected a motion of insourcing on Tuesday in this very same house, aimed at stopping the job losses happening all over the province and create sustainable and protected jobs for our people. Honorable Speaker, the people of Mpumalanga, the youth and unemployed graduates, do not need a Mandla Ndlovu Foundation. They need a stable and permanent jobs that will give them salaries, not a foundation that will get money from funders, only for it
Your
to
time is
selectively
up.
give crumbs to ANC beneficiaries
up.
who still believe in handouts. Thank you.
Honorable Sidel.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me welcome the statement from Honorable Mkabela. Indeed, Honorable Speaker, the issue of unemployment remains everyone's business. And all of us should acknowledge that the economy, year in, year out, has not been doing well. It has been contracting. Hence, the decision by the provincial government, which is led by the Honorable Premier, that the issue of job creation should not only rest with government, but if we work with the private sector, we should be coming up with programs which already has been pronounced through the state of the province in as far as high impact projects that would see us responding to the question of unemployment, as well as institutions of higher learning in terms of the agreement that has been signed with the University of Mpumalanga that would see us through agriculture opening up the economy so that we respond through projects that would implement in as far as employment is concerned. But we do acknowledge, also attested by the fourth quarter report in terms of Stats SA, in terms of
Your
the
time is
increase
up,
of
Honorable
unemployment.
MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Masango.
Speaker, I see my MEC is not here, but whoever is going to answer must just take it to MEC Mashilo. I rise to deliver a member statement on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. The DA knows the notice from the Rent Water about their 2 days planned maintenance on water pipelines affecting many municipalities. The planned maintenance is scheduled to take place on the 29th of May 2026 for a duration of 12 hours. The second maintenance is scheduled for the 17th July 2026 to last for 60 hours. 3 municipalities in Mpumalanga, Kavanbegi, Victor Kanye, and Tembisilahani will be affected. These 3 municipalities will be without water for the specific dates, and some areas will take another 3 days to start getting water. Honorable Speaker, water is life and a constitutional right as per the Bill of Rights. However, for the past years, the residents have experienced a total of no water due to the municipality failure to plan. Most of the households are poor and can't afford to buy a JoJo tank. They rely on the municipality to provide water with tankers. Many households, schools, hospitals, and business will be severely affected, and many municipalities, as in the past, have dismally failed to provide water during these hard times. The DA is making a call to the MEC of Coxstar to ensure that municipalities have proper planning for the upcoming planned maintenance and that residents are not left to fence for themselves. Thank you.
Honorable Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the statement by Honorable Masang. One must acknowledge that there is proper communication as far as the disruption is concerned, meaning that they are taking into consideration that our people must also know, so that proper planning in terms of maybe having water for those days. And further is indicating the issue that when it happened before, there were no proper planning as far as what then needs to happen, of which MSA Bashilo, the message, you will get it so that there's proper planning. But we acknowledge that maintenance also is very important, because if you don't do maintenance also, it might not even take the 3 days that is referring to now. It might take longer than before. So what is noted is that proper planning must be put in place so that there's water, but also the community to be encouraged to make sure that they can have enough water for the 3 days coming. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mashiane.
Honorable Speaker, Action SA wishes to raise serious concerns regarding the conditions and operational limitations at Rainy Clinic in Barberton under Mjindini Trust. Residents have raised ongoing frustrations regarding the clinic's limited operating hours, shortage of staff, and the inadequate healthcare services being provided to the community. Currently, the clinic operates for only 8 hours a day from Monday to Friday. This means that outside of these hours, residents are left without immediate access to primary healthcare services, despite healthcare being a basic constitutional right. Action SA, Honorable Speaker, Action SA is particularly concerned by reports that the clinic is forced to temporarily close during lunch periods due to staff shortages. Communities should never find themselves in a situation where access to healthcare services is interrupted because there are not enough personnel available to keep the facility operational. The people of this community are not asking for luxury. They are asking for basic access to healthcare, adequate staffing, and a clinic that is suitable to serve residents reliably and effectively. Healthcare facilities must be responsive to the realities faced by communities. Pregnant women and those requiring urgent medical attention will need this operation outside normal operating hours. Action SA calls on the Mpumalanga Department of Health to urgently assess the operational challenges at Rainy Clinic. The dignity, health, and
Your time
well-being
is up, Honorable
of our
Member.
communities cannot continue to be compromised.
Your time
I
is
thank
up.
you.
Honorable Manzini.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and let me welcome the statement by Honorable Member and indicate that during the Honorable Premier's visit here at Mbombela, I remember that we had the whole report as far as all our facilities in the municipality. And what we were also bragging about, not only Mbombela, was that in terms of the norms and the workload of this municipality, most, if not all, were less than 1:40 in terms of the professional nurses. And most of the time, what Honorable Member is raising, you'll find that when there are what she's raising in terms of lunchtime closing, this thing is something that is no longer happening in the province. So, but now that he's raising it, it means that I will go there personally to make sure that I check in terms of why, because it's no longer something that is supposed to be happening. And as I'm saying, in the Mbombela municipality, I can tell you that we checked all the clinics, and also in terms of the operating hours. Remember that in terms of our norms and standards, 8 hours are based on the population that we are having. But over and above that, we do have 24-hour clinic that therefore become a feeder when these 8 hours are closed, and also hospitals that people must go to. Hence, we've got services of your ambulances that will therefore extend the operational hours of those facilities that are not qualifying in terms of our norms and standards. But in terms of what you're raising, then we'll be able to go there and check further in terms of unannounced. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Is there any member statement? Honorable Weber.
Madam Speaker, I rise to deliver a member statement on behalf of the Freedom Front Plus. Load shedding is a silent tax from ESCOM to incapacitated municipalities. South Africans pay a hidden tax every day, not to SARS, but to ESCOM's failures. Every hour of load shedding robs the poor, destroys small businesses and drains our economy. The minister boasts that load shedding has ended in metros where cameras are rolling. Yet in rural towns, families stumble through darkness. Farmers lose production, shops close, clinics struggle, and children study by candlelight. These South Africans are invisible in the minister's statistics, but they carry the heaviest burdens. When power returns, municipalities fail to deliver. Water systems remain broken, roads crumble, and corruption paralyzes councils. Rural South Africans are punished twice, first by ESCOM's collapse, then by municipal incapacity. Honourable Speaker, the Freedom Front Plus has placed solutions before this House. We proposed coral pebble bed reactor technology, sustainable, affordable, and backed by business partners.
Your time is up, Honourable Member.
But the real thing I want to say now.
No, your time is up. Honourable Sidel.
No, thank you once again, Honorable Speaker. Indeed, energy remains the backbone of any economy. Working very tirelessly, led by the Minister of Electricity. I think what we need to appreciate is that we have got over 360 days without any load shedding, notwithstanding the fact that there are areas, as mentioned by the Honorable Member, that are still experiencing load reduction. So as the Honorable Minister is working on the issue of electricity with the mines as well, we want to believe, Honorable Speaker, with the municipalities as well, we will be responding to areas that are still encountering load reduction. But all said and done, Honorable Speaker, we need to encourage our communities to pay electricity, because where there is shortage of power supply or load reduction, you would find communities that are affected by the substations that time to time they would blast. So it's very important that we partner, educate our communities to pay for services so that we protect our aging infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Executive statements. I'm informed that there are no executive statements. Motions without notice. Are there any motions without notice? Honorable
Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion without notice on behalf of the ANC to appreciate the Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlement, Traditional Affairs, under the stewardship of MEC Mashilo, for continuing to honor the long-standing tradition of providing vehicles to traditional leaders to help them carry out their duties effectively. Recently, Inkosi M.M. Shongwe of Matsamu Tribal Council in Koma's local municipality received a Ford Ranger, while Inkosi S.M. Mapena Manala of Makerana Traditional Council in Tembisileani local municipality received a Ford Everest SUV. Noting that the provision of these tools of trade seek to strengthen community service for traditional leaders who often travel long distance to attend community meetings, resolve dispute, participate in cultural events, and work closely with government department on issues affecting communities within their traditional jurisdiction. Further noting, traditional leaders and councils are custodians of our culture and tradition and are equally responsible for supporting communities in their development needs. It is against this background that the ANC impresses upon this House to appreciate MEC Mashilo for honoring this long-standing tradition of providing tools of trade for traditional leaders. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree
No.
to?
No.
Motion defeated. Honorable Mavimbela.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the African National Congress, I would like to rise and strongly condemn the alarming rise in crime affecting residents of Mkhuhlu Township in Bushbuckridge Municipality, noting that these acts of violence have created fear and instability, undermining the safety as well as being of our people. Such acts determines the fundamental rights of our people to live in peace, dignity and security. Furthermore, further noting that we call on all enforcement agencies, particularly the South African Police Service, to intensify their efforts in restoring law and order in the area. We urge increased visibility of police, swift investigation of reported cases, and the arrest of those responsible for these criminal acts. We further encourage community members to work together with local authorities through community policing forums and other structures to combat crime. Crime prevention is a collective responsibility. Honorable Speaker, we remain committed to building safer communities, and let's continue to engage with all stakeholders to ensure that Mkhuhlu Township become a place where residents can live without fear. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to
No.
adopt the motion. Agree to?
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
Motion defeated. Honorable Ngumayo.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise on behalf of Umkhonto Wesizwe to note with grave concern that Mr. Joe Nyalunga, who is allegedly known to law enforcement and communities for his involvement in rhino horn smuggling, was killed under circumstances that remain unclear. Rhino poaching and horn smuggling remain a national crisis, with South Africa losing over 400 rhinos annually, devastating biodiversity and undermining conservation efforts and tourism. Honorable Speaker, the killing of individuals allegedly involved in wildlife crime, whether by vigilantes, rival syndicate, or by law enforcement, does not address the root cause of the syndicates that fund and coordinate these operations. As Umkhonto Wesizwe Party, we note that Section 24 of the Constitution guarantees the right to an environment protected for present and future generations. And Section 12 guarantees the right to life and due processes for all persons, regardless of their criminal conduct. Honorable Speaker, in closing, we need to give communities of Bushbuckridge, Nkomazi, and Mbombela real alternatives. No young man should see poaching as his only job. No community should feel they must choose between conservation and survival. Let the courts decide, let the investigation investigate, let this House demand results. So move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agree to?
Agreed.
As so agreed. Honorable Sidibe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, firstly, I don't agree with Honorable Saitel that the issue of unemployment remain everyone's business. It's none of our business. It's the responsibility of your government, Honorable Saitel, ANC-led government, and the private sector. Honorable Speaker, noting that 25 members of the ANC, including the Premier, voted against the two motions of insourcing and the empowerment of local-based black business people in the transport industry. And further noting that the objection of the two motions by the ANC on Tuesday is the direct insult to the security guards, cleaners, and the entire business fraternity of Mpumalanga, who relies on the very same ANC-led government for the upliftment of their life and for better protected jobs and business opportunities. I therefore, in light of this betrayal of the people by the ANC in this very same House on Tuesday, rise to move a motion without notice that this House collectively resolve that Nkomazi municipality immediately reinstate the 247 security guards who were retrenched and replaced by the CCTV cameras and suspend the CCTV cameras to save the jobs like the government complex, Department of Community Safety and Security is doing with the security guards that are guarding the premises or assets of the provincial government. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
No.
Motion defeated. Honorable Masango. Honorable Mkabela, you must not converse aloud.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of the Democratic Alliance to deliver a motion without notice. Honorable Speaker, once again, and I say once again, I'm excited that another young girl from my municipality, Kavanbegi, has put Mpumalanga, especially Mbalenhle Township, on the global stage to be noticed and talked about. Honorable Speaker, 13-year-old Mpho Mchopi, who is Miss Mini Teen South Africa 2025, has just been crowned Miss Teen World 2026 at a prestigious event which was held in Turkey recently. These are exciting times and exciting news for us, the people of Kavanbegi local municipality. Taking into consideration that we just celebrated the recent achievements of a 24-year-old Bethal-based Masibulele Ndebele, who was crowned Miss Mpumalanga just last month. Honorable Speaker and honored members, this proves that Kavanbegi local municipality have beauties with brains. Hence, we as DA call on the August House to congratulate this 13-year-old beauty, like we congratulated Masibulele Ndebele on her achievement of being crowned Miss Mpumalanga. Honorable Speaker, I hope this House will also congratulate the incoming mayor of Kavanbegi local municipality after the November local elections. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to?
No. Agreed.
No. Motion defeated.
Product of GMM. Product of GMM.
Are there any motions without notice? Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of Umkhonto weSizwe Party to raise a motion which is not about guilt or innocence. It is about transparency and the rule of law. The public knows that a case involving Mr. Joe Ferraris Banyoni on allegation of extortion was struck off the court roll at Kwaggafontein Magistrate Court on Monday. What the public doesn't know is why, when a matter of public interest disappears from the roll without explanation, three things happen. The victims feel abandoned. Two, the accused's life lives under a cloud of suspicion. The public loses faith in the system. We are told the case was struck off, but is it due to missing dockets, witness intimidation, prosecutorial negligence, or political interference? The question, Honorable Speaker, I throw to this August House is that how many of such cases has been struck off the roll by the court? How many law-abiding citizens of the Republic has faced a similar situation like Mr. Sbayun of being accused and arrested and later a case being thrown off the court? In line with the pillar number 7 of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, of the People's Mandate of Umkhonto weSizwe Party, we demand that the safety and security of the people of the Republic. Honorable Speaker, we cannot have two-tier justice system, one for ordinary citizens where docket moves fast, and one for the connected where cases vanish. Section 165 of the Constitution is clear. The court and prosecuting authority must function without fear, favor, and prejudice. The principle means nothing if we cannot get straight answers from the case collapse in court. Umkhonto weSizwe Party is not asking this House to try Mr. Sbayoni here. It is the duty of the court. I am asking this House to demand accountability from the NPA and thank you, Speaker.
Your time is up, Honorable Member. In terms of our rules, Rule 53, a member may not, while addressing the legislature or during the proceedings of any of its committees, reflect on any matter on which a judicial decision is pending. The case is not yet finalized. We cannot entertain here at the legislature. Is there any motion without notice? Notices of motion. Are there notices of motion? Formal motions. I am informed that there are no formal motions. The secretary shall read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, questions for oral reply to the Honorable Premier.
The first question is from Honorable Bibi Ngumayo from the MKP to ask the Honorable Premier. Can I invite you, Honorable Premier, to respond to the questions?
Honorable Speaker, thank for this opportunity to respond to questions that have been raised by members of this August House. But before, I would like to take this opportunity to convey our deepest condolences as the province to the bereaved families of 10 taxi and bus accident victims that occurred today in Standerton. Our prayers are with the families and those that are in hospital. We wish them speedy recovery. Already MEC Jackie Masiye is in Ligwa. We hope that as government of Mpumalanga, we are going to work together with the families in preparation for the decent burial of our people. Honorable Bibi Ngumayo, MK Party, to ask the Honorable Premier, given the persistent challenges of poor service delivery in the Bushbuckridge local municipality, particularly relating to the shortage of reliable water supply and the deteriorating state of road infrastructure, what immediate intervention has the provincial government implemented to address the ongoing water shortages affecting communities within Bushbuckridge? Madam Speaker, there are various water projects that we have implemented to give communities water in Bushbuckridge. The 2 mega water schemes, Oshani and Inyaka water schemes. Pipelines were installed to connect villages from the south to Oshani water scheme and villages from Midland and north to Inyaka scheme. However, progress has been negatively affected by illegal water connections. We have approved 10 water projects for implementation by the municipality, which is funded through the MIG at a cost of 226 million rand. These projects are under implementation at different stages. 4 out of 10 projects are completed and operational, aim to benefit 3,886 households within the Bushbuckridge local municipality. How is the province coordinating with the municipality and relevant stakeholders to ensure sustainable and equitable access to clean water for all residents? We are working closely with MISA and DWS to support the municipality with the development, evaluation and approval of technical reports to source funding for water projects. In 2026-2027 financial year, the municipality has committed to implement 5 water projects at a total value of 219 million rand. We are also conducting project visit to monitor progress of all projects under implementation, including water quality in all water treatment works and wastewater treatment works. We are also planning to upgrade Mahlebo Dam water scheme, which will assist to increase water supply around Akorunuk. What plans are in place to rehabilitate and maintain critical roads infrastructure in the municipality, especially in rural areas where accessibility remains a major challenge? Madam Speaker, various projects have been implemented in Bushbuckridge between the 2023-24 and 2025-26 financial year. We invested 996.7 million rand in 11 road infrastructure projects, 5 of which have already been completed. In addition, 112 million rand was invested in road maintenance projects amounting to 12 projects, all of which have been completed. For the 2026-27 financial year, we have already planned an additional 11 new projects. We are also investing 1.2.3 billion rand in maintenance implementation programs such as resealing, patching, regraveling across provincial road network, and a portion of this funding will be used to address infrastructure needs within Bushbuckridge local municipality. Madam Speaker, Bushbuckridge municipality, together with the department through the Kubunyal Tool program, are currently busy grading rural roads to improve accessibility. Furthermore, through the MIG, a total of 102 million rand is set aside to implement 9 projects on the construction of roads in different locations within the municipality. To date, 4 projects constituting 6.5 kilometers have been completed with tar and block paving. The province supported the municipality through the disaster grant intervention, resulting in culverts completed at Bukuta ZCC Ward 3, Morati Seng Primary School Ward 8, Mabongwana Primary School Ward 8, and Kinan Primary School Ward 14. The rehabilitation of the road infrastructure that was damaged by the recent flooding is continuing, and as funding becomes available, the implementation will be intensified. Wide timelines can be provided for the completion of these interventions, and how will the province ensure accountability and consequence management where there are failures? Madam Speaker, these interventions are ongoing in all the villages. An operational budget is set aside throughout the financial years to ensure continuous rehabilitation and grading of provincial and municipal roads. Monitoring is done through IGR meetings that I chair as the Premier, such as Premier's Coordinating Forum and Executive Council Mahutla, and MECs are also assisting in this regard through MUNMEX that are held on a quarterly basis. Has the provincial government considered declaring the situation a priority intervention area? If not, why not? If so, what measures are being implemented under such classification? Yes, almost all areas of our province have been identified as priority areas for intervention, particularly with regard to deteriorating road infrastructure and communities experiencing persistent water shortages. The municipality has been supported with the development of business plan to source funding through the disaster grant. Currently, 10 million has been allocated to the municipality to address some of the road challenges. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nxumayo, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes, Speaker.
Honorable Premier, can you please take your seat? Honorable Nxumayo, can you proceed?
Thank you very much, Speaker. We will also write to the Premier with all the other questions, but I do have this one under the monitoring. The Premier saying that the progress was negatively involved. Was it because the comrades with water tankers benefited, construction mafias benefited on that particular program? Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I always heard people talking about comrades benefiting on water tankers. But I would like that sometimes when we raise matters here in the legislature, we must try to be specific so that we can be able to intervene. I know that construction mafias is a concern in this country. And in our engagement at the national level as premiers together with the president, we agreed that we're going to pay special attention on construction mafias, including water tanker mafias, where services are disrupted by these mafias because at the end of the day, they want to supply with an intention of making profit. So we are paying special attention. I will not say on this one in particular that the implementation of this project were delayed by construction mafias. What I am saying is that sometimes we may think that the project is incomplete. I heard in one area that there was a complaint that when you complete a project, when you open a tap, people must see water. But in certain projects, it may happen that you will complete a project that you will not be able to get water. But it's complete because in terms of your plan, if you want to build a reservoir that is going to supply water, and you have got two projects, one is a pipeline, the other one is a reservoir, you may complete a pipeline. And if the reservoir is not complete, people will not be able to get water. But that project is complete. So we are monitoring ourselves as the Premier's office. Sometimes we visit even project for ourselves to make our own observation in terms of the progress. On Monday, I was in Tembisileane, where I visited a number of projects to satisfy ourselves if contractors are doing work. And the report that we get there is that the contractor is not moving as expected. And we discuss with them and agree that they must come with plans of intervening, where at the end of the day they must have to meet their target of the end of this month. So it's not about comrades only, it's about construction mafias, that some of them are not even a comrade. No, thanks, Mr. Nxumayo.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Marshall.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm just listening to the Premier's response now. Honorable Premier, don't you think the people in Bushbuckridge deserve the protection of the Constitution to have basic water to their disposal? Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
We have been trying our best to give the people of Bushbuckridge water. When we build the two water schemes, Inyaka and Hoshan, the aim was to address water problems in Bushbuckridge once and for all. By the way, at a certain stage, the former Prime Minister of Gazankulu, don't want to quote a Bantu stand, but he once took a decision that he wants to solve the problem of water of Tulamanshi people. He said that I'm going to connect them from Oshan. The pipeline from Oshane supplied water from Oshane Mkutlu area up until Anjin Court before he reaches to Lamahanj. The very same pipeline was illegally connected. Comrade Mabuza said one day that he wanted to put steel pipes in Ocean. I said already that for Inyaka water scheme, the aim was to supply water in Midland and Akornung. At a certain stage, people from Tulama, Hanshi, Lubukani were drinking water from Inyak. But because of illegal connection, the very same water now is not reaching the people of Tulama. So the problem is not as simple as we think, but we are paying special attention as government. I still remember one day when I was a councillor, by the way, was an MMC infrastructure. I once said that around Kajosepha, we said that we have got a lot of underground water. We took a decision that we were going to drill what we call borehole centers, because we wanted to have water from Kajosepha, which we think that is in abundance, that we're going to connect and supply people from Akornuk. So we appreciate the work that municipalities are doing, but it is not as easy as we think. It's a bit complicated, but we will support our municipalities to give our people water.
The next question is from Honorable E.N. Makabane from the ANC to ask the Honorable Premier. Over to you, Honorable Premier.
Honorable E.N. Kabana, ANC, to ask the Honorable Premier. One key aspect of economic empowerment is local economy. It should primarily be predicated in fostering economic growth, creating job opportunities, and enhancing the quality of life in communities. The 2025 State of the Province Address indicated that the provincial government is prioritizing township and rural economy, and that a study will be conducted to hasten its implementation and the resuscitation of the industrial park. In respect of the study, can the Premier provide an update on the extent in which it has been implemented? Madam Speaker, the Mpumalanga Industrial Development Plan was well researched and came as a result of the conclusion of the Mpumalanga Economic Growth and Development Path. We are continuing to roll out the MIDP guided by the Industrial Center of Competence Model and the MIDP Implementation Roadmap. The Industrial Centers of Competency Model is pursued due to the relative concentration of industrial sectors in specific regions. The situation presents a strong opportunity for targeted investment toward the diversification of these industrial sectors into downstream value-adding industries while simultaneously supporting existing upstream value addition activities in pursuit of transforming our industrial economy from a resource-based model to a knowledge-based economy. We are currently implementing 3 industrial centers of competence. 1, the Petrochemical Industrial Center of Competency, situated in the Gert-Sibande District, Secunda area, is estimated to create 1,970 direct jobs and 5,065 indirect jobs, with a projected contribution of 1.86 billion to our GDP. Agriculture and Forestry Industrial Center of Competency, as well as the Mining and Metal Industrial Center of computers located at Enhlazen District Sabi area are expected to contribute 1.4 billion to GDP and create 684 direct jobs and 3.850 indirect jobs. The Energy Special Economic Zone, situated in Kangala District, Middleburg area, is also expected to generate 3.5 billion rand into our GDP, while it is envisaged to create 12,150 jobs and significant employment opportunities and stimulate industrial growth. These centers offer opportunities for investment across different stages of production, both upstream and downstream, helping to build stronger value chains. Critical to this is to ensure that the envisaged industrial technology parks are also linked to existing mega industrial parks that are situated within the rural areas of the province, thereby ensuring that the industrial ecosystem also penetrate these rural areas of the province by participating in opportunities emanating from the industrial technology park. How is the provincial government going to collaborate with local municipalities to revive township and rural economy? Municipalities remain key drivers of economic development within their area of jurisdiction. Mpumalanga Provincial Growth Approach, as outlined in its 2026 policy statement and programs, will implement a multi-layered collaboration model with municipalities focused on rebuilding local economies, especially in township and rural areas, through the following: joint planning and coordination. We are implementing a tighter alignment between provincial departments and municipalities through integrated planning and delivery. We have helped municipalities to develop their local economic development strategies. 17 municipalities have launched and have functional LED forums, with the exclusion of 3 municipalities who have been disrupted by disgruntled business people on many occasions. Departments are participating in municipal IDPs to provide strategic leadership and support, while municipalities become the key delivery agents of change in our communities. Implementing local economic development through partnership, Madam Speaker, it is crucial to build practical partnership between municipalities, business, and communities. In relation to advancing local economic development, we are promoting public-private partnership to fund and operate economic infrastructure that has been built, e.g. market, logistic hubs in the 3 regions of the province. Municipalities will continue to identify local opportunities, while the province, through MEGA, will help to attract investors and structure deals. e.g. Mpumalanga International Food Market is designed to connect small farmers, often in rural municipalities, to larger market and exports to promote trade. This creates a link between rural producers and urban or township markets. Reviving township economy, a key intervention is to support both informal and formal township business, with municipalities playing a frontline support role. Programs like Spaza Shop Support Fund, the Township and Rural Entrepreneurship Program, the TIRE Initiative, which are programs and interventions that are aimed to formalize and regulate township businesses, provide funding, equipment, and training to improve compliance and competitiveness. Municipalities continue to assist local businesses by registering and support local traders, enforcing standard and providing trading infrastructure and spaces where necessary. The aim is to shift township businesses from survivalist to scalable local enterprises through the implementation of this intervention. Thanks, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makabane, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes, I do have, Honorable Speaker.
You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me take this opportunity and thank the Honorable Premier in responding to the question. The follow-up questions is, I will ask the Honorable Premier to give us the strategy that the provincial government has in order to resuscitate township and a rural economy, and it's safe to indicate which economies that the provincial government will earmarked by the provincial government. Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. We already, on my presentation, I indicated that as government we are paying special attention. As from 2024-25 financial year, we have allocated close to 70 million funds to MEGA, with the aim that MEGA should support our industrial park. We know that they have been there for quite some times, and most of them for now are no longer working. So we wanted to revive our industrial park. When Limpopo wanted to sell some of our industrial parks here in Mpumalanga, we said no, we will not allow Limpopo to sell our industrial park. We engaged and we agreed that since we have got a clear strategy on how to revive this industrial park, they must allow us, because at the end of the day, job creation, I heard Honorable Sidibe saying that it's not everybody's business. He said that is the business of the ruling, of the governing party. When I respond on the question of that is still coming on youth unemployment, there are some of the issues that I'm going to raise to correct your thinking. Honorable Sidibe, you realize that the problem is very big. It cannot be only the problem of the ruling party. We said that we must pay special attention on entrepreneurship development here in the country. We did not pay special attention on entrepreneur development, and with entrepreneur development we can be able to create this rough estimation close to 6 million jobs in the country, and ourselves as Mpumalanga always having my share of 10% and 9%, I can also benefit from this program on that ratio. We must support informal trading in Africa. We have got certain countries where they are only relying on informal trading to create jobs, and also ourselves here, we must have to pay special attention. But the buying power in the main is coming from our township, so we must have to also pay special attention on developing our township. Thanks.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Ndlovu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Premier, greetings to yourself. The question is, why is it almost all major tenders such as medical waste management, medical depot management, school stationery, school furnitures are awarded to companies from Gauteng, Northwest, Limpopo, and KwaZulu-Natal? Does this mean that business people from Mpumalanga do not have the necessary capacity, Or are you undermining local business people from our own province while claiming to support radical economic transformation and local industrial development? If you say they don't have capacity, what plan do we have to capacitate our people? I thank you.
Honorable Premier.
When we were hosting World Cup, my wish was that South Africa was going to win the World Cup, but we're defeated here at home. So it's the same on some of these big tenders. Home ground advantage will not work as long as all the necessary processes are followed. That's why we have got an incubator program. An incubator program, if you have got a very big tender where you need grade 9, one grade 9, the only thing that you want there is price. So if somebody will tell you that on this program, which is very big, I can implement this project at this amount, say for instance 300 million, and your local person, grade 9, bid for the very same project for 500, we will not give this one because we want to save the 200 million for other programs. So I will not know the reasons because I'm not fully participating on these tendering processes, but our wish is that if we have got companies in the province that they meet the requirement, they must have to be prioritized. Like at the municipal level, if you have got companies that they meet the grade, then those companies must be appointed. But I can't have a clear-cut answer that always here in the province, companies that are prioritized are companies from outside. And I don't believe that our province, the Premier of the province, will also be comfortable when I have got a report that here in the province we only consider so deeply companies from outside. And they're here. HODs, they know my thinking. I addressed them one day in a meeting that will prefer a situation whereby people that they meet the requirements from the province are prioritized for this, whether it's construction or any services. So I will not be able to give you a clear-cut answer, and I have never requested even department to give me a list of companies that are working in the province. The only part where I said that I would want them to vanish me with a list, it was on the decision that we have taken that must prioritize companies that directors are females, because we said that 40% of companies here in the province that are owned by women should be prioritized. So we said that will want us to reach that target. I said that I would want a report in terms of the target for the youth, which is 30%, and the target for the disabled, which is 7%. But on that one, and the Premier of the province will never ever one day in public say that they will only prefer companies from the province, because we have got so many that are working outside. They will tell them that they must go and work in Mpumalanga because they're working. If a person is only working in Mpumalanga, it means that there is corruption in Mpumalanga. The person will not qualify to work in other provinces. So big companies are working everywhere. We said even in terms of jobs, that jobs must be accessible to all South Africans. Thanks.
The next question is from Honorable D.P. Nkosi. Honorable Masango.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Premier, we welcome the reviving of this industrial park and everything. But the question is, they pay a higher rental cost. There is no water, there is no electricity. I just
Honorable
want to check.
Masango, I thought maybe it's a point of order, because in terms of our rules, Rule 104, the reply to a question is limited to 15 minutes. But if the speaker is of the opinion that the matter is of sufficient importance, an additional 3 minutes may be added. And I have added almost 2 minutes on this question. Honorable Premier, can you proceed with the next question from Honorable DP Nkosi
I
from the
will,
ANC?
I will proceed, but I will like to engage with the honorable member outside this meeting, because it may happen that you don't have information that we are sometimes giving companies a period of 12 months not to pay even a cent, because we still want them to build their finances. Honorable Deepin Kosi, ANC, to ask the Honorable Premier, as part of the broader social agenda and anti-poverty strategy of South Africa, each municipality is required to develop an indigent policy. The National Framework for Municipal Indigent Policies aim to include individuals excluded from access to basic service crucial for survival, such as water, sanitation, electricity, and refuse removal. However, research has revealed that most of our communities, especially in township, are unaware or not well vested with this policy. In respect of the above, can the Premier elaborate the role by the provincial government in ensuring that all municipalities have this policy in place? Our role is to ensure that municipalities develop and approve their indigent policies, including administering registers of all qualifying indigent beneficiaries for implementation in a financial year. Furthermore, the province has responsibility to monitor and support the effectiveness of the implementation of the free basic service program as provided to our communities through municipalities. Can the Honorable Premier provide a brief breakdown on why government took a stance to develop the National Framework for Municipal Indigent Policies and its intention thereof? National Framework for Municipal Indigent Policies serves as a guiding tool for municipalities during the development, registration, including the approval of the indigent policies to ensure uniformity in carrying out the legislative mandate set out in the Constitution. This framework is intended to support the targeted population on the rollout of free basic service program and ultimately improve socio-economic standards of our communities. Can the Premier give assurance that all municipalities will popularize their indigent policies to ensure that the people intended to benefit from it ultimately do so? Madam Speaker, I wish to assure you that the Premier's Coordinating Forum remains a critical intergovernmental platform through which municipalities share best practices and strengthen the implementation of indigent support policies across the province. In this regard, Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlement and Traditional Affairs continues to provide technical support and guidance to municipalities experiencing implementation challenges. Municipalities are furthermore encouraged to utilize their bi-monthly community engagement programs to raise awareness on the benefits and qualifying criteria of indigent support policies. Through this oversight and engagement mechanism, government is able to continuously monitor both the registration process and the implementation of indigent policies in order to ensure that support reaches the rightful and intended beneficiaries in a fair, transparent, and accountable manner. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nkosi, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. No, I don't have a follow-up question. I have been covered with the responses of the Honorable Premier. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Premier, can you proceed to the next question from Honorable MC Sidibe from the EFF?
Honorable MC Sidibe, EFF, to ask the Honorable Premier. Honorable Premier, you are leading a province that is in financial ill health in almost all departments. You have HODs and CFOs who do not respect, are careless about all the legislation governing the public service. You have HODs who keep government work in their offices until it gathers dust and expires. You have CFOs who are unable to balance and reconcile books and prepare proper annual financial statement. And as a result, the majority of your department obtain qualified audit opinions and material irregularities amounting to billions combined. The worst case is that AG South Africa has year after year discovered that the root causes of these adverse audit opinions and irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure are political interference, as well as incompetent accounting officers and chief financial officers. They advertise posts and tenders and keep them for more than 11 years without processing and finalizing them. A case in point is the GNP in the Department of Education, which lasted for a full 11 years before adjudication, while the tender contract was just for 3 years. This includes the project management unit, scholastic stationery, delivery of school furniture, and network connectivity to schools and circuit, just to mention a few. All these programs and projects are budgeted for, yet the money is not used because no service providers are appointed and the tenders were long advertised and their validity has lapsed. Can the Premier share with the House why he is keeping incompetent HODs, DDGs and CFOs who fail to deliver on their fiduciary duties and sleep on duty despite reporting directly to him? Madam Speaker, the seventh administration remains committed in strengthening accountability, ethical governance, and improved service delivery across all departments and entities in the province. In relation to the appointment, performance management, including consequence management of accounting officers, chief financial officers, and other senior officials, we are guided by the legal prescripts such as Public Service Act, Public Service Regulation, Public Finance Management Act, and Treasury Regulations, amongst others. We therefore have an obligation to ensure that we do not act arbitrarily, but ensure that matters relating to underperformance, maladministration, or allegation of undue interference are handled within the confines of the law and fairness. Where weaknesses have been identified through audit outcomes and oversight processes, corrective measures are being implemented. These include strengthening consequence management, improving internal control, and enhancing monitoring mechanisms. Furthermore, the provincial government continues to work collaboratively with oversight bodies, Chapter 9 institutions, including the AG and the Public Service Commission, to address audit findings, reduce irregular expenditure, and improve governance across all departments. Madam Speaker, it is important to correct this wrong narrative with regard to National School Nutrition Program. The department did not leave a tender unadjudicated for 11 years. A tender was awarded in 2014, but was subsequently challenged in court, resulting in prolonged litigation and appeals that only concluded in 2020. During this period, the department ensured continuity of service through lawful month-to-month arrangement, prioritizing learner nutrition. In 2020, Cabinet resolved to transfer the function to another department, which was also legally challenged, further requiring interim measures. A new bid was later advertised in August 2023, closing in September 2023, with 71 service providers appointed to restore stability and compliance. In addition, the department has consistently managed other procurement processes within legal and governance framework. These include contracts for learning and teaching support material, where service providers were appointed through successive lawful bids and transversal contracts, with continuity ensured through extensions where necessary. New bid for LTSM, office furniture, and internet connectivity were advertised between 2025 and 2026, with evaluation and education processes currently underway and validity periods extended to allow finalization. Overall, any perceived delays are due to legal challenges and compliance requirements, not neglect. The 7th administration remains committed to transparent procurement and uninterrupted service delivery to learners and the people of this province. Here in South Africa, we have consciously adopted a constitutional democracy founded on the supremacy of the Constitution and the rule of law, rather than a purely parliamentary democracy. As such, all organs of state remain bound by the Constitution and are obligated to respect and comply with court rulings and judiciary processes. Honorable Premier, your State of the Province address is commitment to the people of Mpumalanga. How are you going to deliver on this commitment with such incompetent officials who do not care about service delivery to our people? Madam Speaker, commitment outlined in the State of the Province address remain a firm program of action of the provincial government and are informed by the developmental priorities of the people of Mpumalanga. These are integrated in the department annual performance plans, which are the cornerstone of performance agreements signed with each member of the Executive Council. In order to strengthen accountability, monitoring, and evaluation of performance of departments, my office convenes one-on-one meeting to further take stock of the implementation of our annual performance plans and provincial program of action so that we can proactively address challenges. Equally, we have initiated interventions aimed at accelerating service delivery and strengthening institutional capacity, which include the filling of critical vacant positions and ongoing engagement with communities through programs such as the Executive Council's outreach and premiers in Bizu. These add impetus in reinforcing oversight structures, improving supply chain management processes, tightening compliance with the Public Finance Management Act and Treasury regulation, as well as enhancing accountability at both administrative and executive level. Can the Honorable Premier agree that this House must lay complaint against him with the relevant authorities for failing to deliver on his commitment due to his incompetent officials? The Premier is committed to ensure that all commitment made to the people of Mpumalanga province are delivered and the lives of our people are improved. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sidibe, do you have a follow-up question?
Yes, I do, Honorable Speaker.
You can proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Well, Honorable Premier, where there is litigations or legal challenges and court rulings, we will agree. I think we agree because it happens now and then. When others lose tenders, they will challenge us. And I fully agree with you. If those are the delay, they are often uncontrollable nature. But the fact that you have initiated an intervention on the filling of vacant posts, that means you are agreeing with us that there's a crisis in the filling of the vacant posts. Where I don't agree with you, Honorable Premier, is that the people of Mpumalanga are benefiting in responding to Honorable Ndlovu in the major tenders. But we'll share with you the list outside this meeting. My short question, Honorable Premier, I'm happy because you are fully aware of the Public Service Act and that the public service is a highly regulated environment. And as you mentioned, the Public Service Act and the PFMA, I would like to know that as the head of the executive or the government of Mpumalanga, what is your understanding of this act, the PSA, Public Service Act and the PFMA, in relation to the time frame of the filling of the vacant post, which is informed by the Public Service Act, and in relation to the time frame of the awarding of bids or tenders? In shortly, what does it say? How long must it take to fill a vacant post, an advertised post? And how long must a department take to fill a tender that has been advertised? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Sidibe, for accepting that when there is a court ruling, that must have to respect. There is no one that is above our court here in South Africa. And I will want to welcome the information that you have that the Premier doesn't have, that people of his province are not benefiting from our procurement processes here in the province. Your understanding, Love, of a time frame for procurement processes and also recruitment processes, it's a bit complicated to answer, but it should be reasonable. I know that we rejected the appointment of one senior officials in one department because we thought that they have stayed with this process for close to 8 months, because our understanding that is the ceiling. But we advised that there was a court ruling. That delay doesn't make the processes to be irregular. There is a court ruling somewhere, and they want to use that to pressurize EXCO to reverse its decision. And we said to the HOD, we understand that there is all these rulings that may take an advantage, but the simple question that we want to ask you, why have you delayed with these processes for more than 8 months before we come to this understanding of the legislation. So our understanding is that within 6 months, we must be able to appoint, if it's a service provider, we must get a suitable service provider. We think that 6 months is enough. Also on the recruitment process, we think that we must move very fast. Like myself, we have got a vacancy on the position of the HOD. We have advertised. I'm not going to talk about timelines. In less than 2 months, we're going to appoint, because we'll not want to have vacancies for a long period where we have got even money available. We must appoint timeously. So your concern is also our concern. And all of us, I think we're here. HODs are also here. Please, we must have to address this matter. We can't have this complaint every day. When we come here, they are complaining about vacant positions. Ourselves in EXCO, we complain about vacant positions. So I will not come here and complain because I'm the premier. I must have to play my oversight, because I don't want to come here and complain. The next question you will ask me if I am performing my work as the premier of the province. But that concern is genuine and is taken.
The next question is from Honorable B. Grobler from the DA to ask the Premier. We
No,
have
there's still a
received-
follow-up when we have not exhausted our minutes.
The time is exhausted, Honorable Sidibe. I even gave more than 1 minute, 30 seconds. The next question is from Honorable B. Grobler from the DA to ask the Honorable Premier, and we have received an apology from Honorable Grobler. And in terms of our rule, Honorable Grobler is abiding by the rules in terms of rule number 56 on acting for absent member. A member may take charge of a motion or an order of the day in the absence of the member in charge, provided he or she has been authorized to do so by such member, and the speaker or any person acting in that capacity has been informed beforehand. We have been informed that Honorable Masango will be representing Honorable Grobler. You can proceed, Honorable Premier.
With regard to infrastructure project under the responsibility of the Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation, such as the Mpumalanga High Altitude Center and Mpumalanga Cultural, and recently added the sports arena in Bombela to promote indoor sports and conferencing facilities. Can the Honorable Premier please indicate the following? Can the Premier state how many provincial, national or international games have been played at the Bombela Stadium in the past 3 years? Following are the total number of provincial, national and international games that have been played at the Bombela Stadium in the past 3 years. National and provincial football and rugby matches were played at Bombela Stadium during the period April 2023 to April 2026. 77 matches. International football matches, 13. International rugby matches, 2. 31 countries took part in the Bombela Global Series tennis tournament recently, 1. Total number of professional matches played here in Mpumalanga, 93. Total spectators in attendance during the period April 2023 to April 2026 is 517,400. Are there any plans to bring more national, international games to the Mbombela Stadium, yes, there are plans to bring more national and international games to Mbombela Stadium. My office, in conjunction with the Department of Culture, Sport and Recreation, Mbombela Local Municipality, we engage with Mbombela Stadium Management, Mpumalanga Rugby National Union, leadership of Netball South Africa, South African Football Association, South African National Rugby Union Team, and the Premier Soccer League, and other key stakeholders to secure high-profile national and international matches here in the province. This coming Saturday, the province will host Orlando Pirates FC and Orbit FC at Mbombela Stadium for the PSL deciding match. We want to encourage people not to go with wines to celebrate only. They must also go there with their handkerchief, because it may happen that they may cry from the stadium. On the 13th of September last year, we hosted the MTN 8 final between Orlando Pirates FC and Stellenbosch FC at Mbombela Stadium. AFCON qualifier between Bafana Bafana and Rwanda was played in Mbombela Stadium on the 14th of October 2025. Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation also supported the hosting of the 2 Springbok matches played at Mbombela Stadium in 2024 and 2025 respectively. Should further be noted that another team from the province, which is Kruger United FC, has been promoted from the National First Division to the Premier League, which will ensure that more high-profile football matches will be played here at Mbombela Stadium. Honorable Premier, the Mpumalanga government currently has a legacy of projects taking longer than planned and costing more than original plan. Can the Premier state what will make this project different from the Mpumalanga High Altitude Training Center or the Mpumalanga Culture Village? Madam Speaker, the challenges experienced in legacy infrastructure projects such as the Cultural Hub and High Altitude Training Center are acknowledged. What distinguishes the Mbombela Multipurpose Arena project is that it is being implemented under a corrected and fully compliant infrastructure delivery model. Mbombela Indoor Multipurpose Arena project has been formally assigned to the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport as the implementing agent for the construction of this arena. In the current financial year, we are finalizing the due diligence to ensure that full construction commences in this current financial year. The multipurpose arena project is being approached with a clear funding framework and phased-in approach for implementation, which will strengthen financial control and reduce the risk of cost overruns. The lesson learned from the Cultural Hub and High Altitude Training Center project have therefore directly informed the more disciplined, compliant, and coordinated approach to the multipurpose arena project. The focus of the province is to ensure that all infrastructure projects are implemented on time. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Premier state what has been spent from the initiation of the High Altitude Training Center and Cultural Village to date? Madam Speaker, we have spent a total cost of 159.6 million rand so far, which includes phase 1 to phase 4 of the planning and design for the cultural village. Key deliverables include land acquisition of 20.9 hectares of land purchased at 12.9 million rand, professional fees for architectural design and project management fees at 68.3 million rand, professional civil works and engineering fees at 16.4 million rand, professional electrical and mechanical works fees at 2.3 million rand, and transaction advisory service fees at 44.6 million. High Altitude Training Center, key deliverables achieved, and the amount of expenditure incurred since inception in 2011 to date is 329.6 million rand. The HATC project aims to create a world-class center which provides international training facilities for various sporting codes, high-performance centers, training and rehabilitation, the Faculty of Sports Science, boarding school for talented young sports people, accommodation, spectator arenas, and community interfaces. Key deliverables achieved on the High Altitude Training Center include land acquisition, project management and inception, concept development and design. Secondly, installation of bulk infrastructure project on bulk water pipeline for Section 1 is completed. Lastly, the installation of engineering services of bulk infrastructure is also completed. Can the Premier state if the Mpumalanga High Altitude Center and the Mpumalanga Cultural Hub are still financial viable projects, and what are Mpumalanga government's future plans regarding these two projects? Madam Speaker, the Mpumalanga Cultural Hub, previously referred to as a cultural village, as well as the High Altitude Training Center, remain important strategic projects for the province. However, their implementation is currently being reassessed to ensure financial sustainability, compliance and long-term impact. With regards to Mpumalanga Cultural Hub, we have taken a deliberate decision not to proceed with large-scale implementation for this project until all governance framework planning and funding consideration are fully addressed. In relation to High Altitude Training Center, this project is a strategic provincial investment for the long-term economic transformation, youth development, and global competitiveness. We have installed the bulk infrastructure on site, which will now attract investment and private sector participation into this project. This project is an economic catalyst to position the province as a leader in high-performance sports, sports tourism, and creating sustainable employment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Masango, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Speaker. Yes, Speaker.
You can proceed.
Thank you. Honorable Premier, I think I'm going to second you with people bringing their handkerchief on Saturday. I hope they will do so. Premier, with regard to the High Altitude Center, I mean, I don't know, you are now the third Premier who will be responsible with this High Altitude Center. I just want to know, I understand you are going to reassess it, but is there a time, Premier, where this government will say, we are not going to wait for private sector to assist us. We are going to put our own budget for this High Altitude Center, because there is nothing happening, to be honest with you. I don't see anything. Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
I think it's a very good question, Honorable Masango. It is our wish that if we have enough on our fiscus, that we can pay special attention on this project that we initiated together with one country, and that they came here, we agreed that we were going to implement that project. But after the elections, when the new leadership was elected, the country just decided to renege from their initial position. So the plans, everything that are there, I think they are a very good plan that will assist the province of Mpumalanga. So we are paying special attention. We'll look for a partner if it's possible. But if we will be unable to get a partner, we will continue on our own. But we must know that it's straining the fiscus of the province. But your concern is our concern too.
Is there follow-up from other honorable member, Honorable Sidibe?
Yeah, thank you, Honourable Speaker. With the experience, I'm on the multi-purpose arena because it was part of the question. And with the experience that we had with the parliamentary village, where a land was purported to be donated to provincial government, and later on, the landowners demanded the money from government. So I want to know, in terms of that multipurpose arena, whose land is it going to be built? Have you secured the land? Is it government land? And so forth. And maybe the approach, Honorable Premier, in terms of the construction, is it through the Section 32 of the PFMA or FMA, or is a separate arrangement? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Premier.
Thanks, Honorable Speaker. Yeah, I think it is a very good experience. We learn on the way. Sometimes that's why people that are working, they are entitled to commit human error, but not on the stadium, on the Mbombela Sport Arena, because here the land belongs to the municipality. So we are engaging with the municipality. So the municipality will not renege on our commitment, because they also want to benefit from that project. So I can give you an assurance on this one that there is no way in which we are going to reach a logjam with our municipality. Already we have engaged and agreed on the implementation of that project, and they are also accepting, because at the beginning they thought that they are going to use the management of the stadium to build, and we said that they don't have air capacity. Here in the province we have got public works, that is an infrastructure department that has got capacity. Our expectation is that all the infrastructure projects in the province must be implemented by the Department of Public Works. Thanks.
Honorable Mkhwebane.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Premier, since this will only benefit only a tiny elite cohort, especially the HATC, and only international visitors, why can't the project be canned and you focus on creating combi courts, which are very much reasonable, which can only also be built at various 17 municipalities, and township and villages can be able to access them, because they are also able to provide for 5 to 6 sporting code. Thank you.
Honorable Premier.
There is one council, the one that I presided, we used to say that the matter that you are raising, even today I was busy dealing with it. So what you are raising, Honorable Mkhwebane, is exactly what we are doing. There are so many combicos that we are building, even on schools, your boarding schools. When we build schools today in Mpumalanga, that's why our schools are a bit too expensive, is because we also include combi courts. So this will not replace this big project, because the intention of this big project is also to build our own sports people from the province, that they will be able to compete international and national. So we are not ruling out this recommendation that we are making, but what I'm just saying is that we are also building combi courts in the province.
The next question is from Honorable W.L. Weber to ask the Honorable Premier. Over to you, Honorable Premier.
Honorable W.L. Weber to ask the Premier, Honorable Emlo, with reference to the Premier State of the Province address and the commitments made therein, the Honorable Premier is requested to account for the province governance, financial discipline, service delivery and accountability mechanism. Clarity is sought on the implementation of announced program, the prevention of corruption and mismanagement, and the assurance that provincial resources are directed towards tangible improvements for the people of Mpumalanga. Will the Honorable Premier indicate how the newly launched Mpumalanga Green Cluster Agency will ensure that renewable energy investments create jobs for residents, rather than benefiting external contractors only? Madam Speaker, the Mpumalanga Green Cluster Agency is not intended to operate as a passive observer of renewable energy investment. Its role is to ensure that green economy investment is deliberately linked to local economic participation, job creation, enterprise development, and skills transfer for the people of Mpumalanga. The agency will support this objective in 5 practical ways. Firstly, the MGCA is already working with investors, municipalities, provincial departments, and communities to ensure that renewable energy projects are linked to clear local development commitments. Secondly, the agency is preparing a pipeline of green economy projects that are rooted in the province's own priorities. This means that investment will not only be attracted into Mpumalanga, but shaped in a way that supports economic diversification, township and rural enterprise development, and opportunities in communities affected by the energy transition. Thirdly, the agency is busy facilitating partnership with training institutions, industry, and development partners to ensure that residents are equipped with skills required for emerging renewable energy value chain